Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to talk about a very important thing that I look at before investing in a company, and that is whether or not the company consistently raises its dividend over time. The majority of the companies that I own do raise their dividend on a consistent basis. There are very few companies that do not. If they do not raise their dividend consistently, they have to have a lot of other things going right for them in order for me to invest in them. So the site that I use mainly to look at whether or not they have consistently increased their dividend over time is dividendhistory.org. For the most part, I find it to be fairly accurate. So as you can see, it shows you the most recent companies that have raised their dividend, both American and Canadian. So I'm just going to run through the companies that I own and show you how well they have increased their dividend over time, or if they have or have not. So the first one I'm going to look at is Algonquin Power and Utilities, and this has been a very consistent dividend increaser over time. They've typically, as you can see, averaged 10% per year for quite a number of years. We can go all the way back to, and you can see with the exception there of 2014, which was a little lower, every other year has been very significant since about 2010. Next company I will look at is Fortis, and Fortis is also an excellent company in terms of increasing their dividend year in and year out. So the last few you can see have been 6%, 6%, they had a 10% back in 2015, and then smaller amounts in previous years before that. And Fortis is the second, has the second longest streak in Canada behind Canadian Utilities. So we could keep going here for quite some time, and it would keep going. So Fortis is a great increaser of their dividend. Let's move on to Emera. So Emera is also excellent. So 4% in 2021, 4% in 2020 and 2019, and 2018. 2017 had an 8% increase, 2016 10% increase. So again, a very consistent grower of their dividend. So those are 3 utility companies. Let's keep going. And here are a couple that have not been as good at increasing their dividend. So Northland Power, it's great growth stock, and they do have a consistent monthly dividend. However, it does not grow as much as the ones that we just looked at. So as you can see, we have to go back to the year 2017 when we saw their last dividend increase of 11%. And don't see any other ones. A few special dividends there, but and then you can see quite a few changes, but that's like 15 or 16 years ago. So I do own a small position in Northland Power, but not as large of a position as those other 3. And likewise, we have RNW, we have TransAlta Renewables, which is similar to Northland Power. They have a higher current yield than Northland Power, but similarly to Northland Power was, they do not increase their dividend as much. As we can see, we have to go back all the way again to 2017, which was the last time that they increased their dividend by approximately 7%. They do, however, pay a monthly dividend. which, for some is a good benefit. Okay, let's move on to TELUS. So TELUS has been consistently raising their dividend as well, and sometimes they have a tendency to raise it multiple times during the course of a single year. But on average, we can see that they're raising it approximately around 5 to 6% per year. If not slightly more. So TELUS is a great dividend grower. And another telecommunications is Bell, and they are also a great dividend grower. So 5% in 2021, 5% in 2020, 5% in 2019. So you can see very, very consistent, right? And then we have more 5% increases back to 2015 and beyond. The next one is one that's not really looked at, I don't think, by as many people, but I do own Quebecor, and part of the reason why I do is because of their really good, consistent dividend growth here in the past couple years. So in 2021, so last year, they raised their dividend 37.5%. The year before that, 77 or nearly 78%. And the year before that, over 100%. So you can see they are aggressively increasing their dividend over the past, 5 to 6 years. So 100% in 2018, 22% in 2017, 28.5% in 2016, 40% in 2015. So very, very good to see. I think I will end this for now. I'll make a second part because this one is getting quite long.